This is the Average Guy Network, and you have found Home Gadget Geeks, show number 666 with guest Jay Franze, recorded on December 18th, 2025. Here on Home Gadget Geeks, we cover all the favorite tech gadgets that find their way into your home, news, reviews, product updates, and conversation, all for the average tech guy. I'm your host, Jim Collison, broadcasting live from the AverageGuy.tv studios here in a wonderful Bellevue, Nebraska. Jay, I don't know about you. You're northern Kentucky, but we had winter. Then this week
went away.
It's kind of been spring. It's been kind of nice. Yeah, Jay, welcome.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, not bad at all. I think. Listen, it dipped again today, so cold weather is on its way. But, of course, we'll post the show with some world-class show notes out there at theaverageguy.tv. Big thanks to our Patreon subscribers, and big thanks to Bob Carpenter. I mentioned a couple weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, there's a few slots in Patreon if anybody wanted to join the team. And Bob took the call and to join the Patreon team. I appreciate all of you who support the theaverageguy.tv on Patreon, so thanks for doing that. And then big thanks to Christian, who I alluded to this a little bit earlier. I still got a little bit of still kind of sounds a little hazy, a little scratchy from this cold I had last week. But I had to call Christian back and say, oh, sorry, we're not going to be able to do the podcast. So for those of you who can join us, thanks for doing that. We'll get Christian rescheduled and get him back on there. It was okay. This is episode 666. You can see it down below. Jay, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry to have you on. Remember when we were kids and that was a big deal? And that doesn't scare you today, does it?
No, not as long as you read the number. I mean, if you keep saying 666 like that, it's going to be like Beetlejuice eventually.
If you say it 3 times, 666, 666. I remember.
It was a big thing with Aussie. Aussie's what made that scary.
Yeah, it was a big thing in the 80s. It seemed like it was a bigger thing than it was, don't worry about it today. But well, I'm glad you're joining me for 666. Then one more thing, big thanks to our affiliate friends out there who, if you go to theaverageguy.tv, I have a link in the upper right-hand corner. Just click on it. It'll take you through Amazon. It's that time of year. If you want to use the link, benefits the network. Thanks to those of you who do that as well. So thanks for doing that. Jay, did you get that fire pit in and done? Are you benefiting from the fire pit yet?
I love you. Have I mentioned that? I love you like a bad rash. No fire pit yet. I'm getting there. I have parts now. I mean, I have Adirondack chairs. My wife bought me those for Christmas last year. So I have Adirondack chairs. We have the circular area mapped out or cut out in the backyard, but still, it's like the slowest fire pit ever. This is something that should take one weekend tops.
Yeah, one brick at a time, right?
It's taken me a couple of years.
Yeah, and it's okay. We haven't been using ours as much. The Christmas. I don't know why everything just disconnected there for a second. I don't know if you saw me go away, but I'm back.
A little flash.
The kids came. Will come over for Christmas. We're doing 2 Christmases, so we're doing one the Saturday, and then they're all coming over again on Christmas. It's like, why are we doing this Saturday? I still don't know, just to be honest. But 2 Christmases. Hopefully, we'll get outside and enjoy our fire pit. And it's kind of a great thing to have. So we're hoping the weather, holds up for us for that as well. Well, I have all the faith and confidence that you'll get it done. So maybe by the next time, or maybe by this summer.
Things that I want, the priority level just keeps dropping down. If it was something the wife wanted, I'm telling you, it would have been done already.
True. You just got to talk her into it, or is it you who's holding up?
No, it's me that I want it.
Okay.
I'm the one that wants it. I think that's it. If I didn't want it, it'd be done.
I'll send her a note. Just tell her Jim's making fun of her on Home Gadget Geeks.
I'm just saying. Reach out to her, Jim.
Done. Okay.
Reach out to her. 555-293. Whoops. No.
That's a real phone number. Oh, no. No. Hey, a couple weeks ago, you reached out to me and you were like, because you've talked with me quite a bit about AI.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, I want to play some music for you. And so you played some, you played some music. So that's pretty good. And then you were like, it's AI,
It's AI.
right? It's AI. Talk a little bit, take us back a little bit. Give us for those folks joining in, give us a little bit more on the story. Put some leaves on those branches.
Sure. No, if we take it back, just to go back a little bit, I've worked in the music industry for over 35 years. So I've worked in New York and then eventually moved to Nashville, and I worked my final 20 years in Nashville. So I've been around music for a long time. I've used to write songs for TV shows and movies, and I ended up producing and engineering country artists in Nashville for the majority of my time. So we were talking about that on my show. We were talking about, or to an artist who said, with AI coming aboard, this is going to happen or this is going to happen. And they were just talking about it in general, and we were like, just spitballing back and forth. Well, what do you think will happen? Or, well, AI will never have the life or the feeling that we as humans have. So I decided after that episode to just do an experiment. I wanted to see if I could produce a song the same way that I would produce it in Nashville. Not just type in a prompt and say, write me a country song. I wanted to say, okay, here's a set of lyrics that I've written, and this is what I want it to sound like. In the same way that I would talk to a guitar player or a drummer in the studio, that's what I did to the AI system that I was using. And when I did that, it started getting better and better and better. So I did that and got through an entire song, and I was like, oh, wow, this actually sounds pretty good. So I brought it on the show, and I said, okay, let's listen to this song. And, we review songs all the time. So I didn't say that this was an AI song. I just said, we're reviewing this song today. And nobody knew that it was AI. Nobody. So I was like, okay. So then when we finally talked about it, we were talking about, how a lot of people right now, because, I wouldn't expect anything else. It's like ChatGPT. You get a dialogue box. You go on there and you type in what you want, and the system will feed it back to you. But you can also type in very specific instructions, very specific musical instructions, whether it be tempo, whether it be key, whether it be major or minor. I mean, you can type in anything you want. And then if you want to pay the extra money, which I ended up doing because I wanted to keep experimenting, you can get a multi-track version, which means that not only will they provide you with the stems, and a stem is nothing but the individual instruments in this case. That's not what they refer to as a stem in Nashville or in a typical recording studio. A stem is like all of your drums grouped together. That's a stem of drums. All of your guitars would be a stem of guitars. In this particular case, it's kind of like that, but you get your roughly 8 tracks of audio: guitars, vocals, bass, drums. And then you can start manipulating those in real time in a multi-track editor. Like I use Pro Tools. A lot of people these days, especially with Apple computers, are using Logic. But there's multi-track recorders, even Adobe Audition or any of the others. So it's very similar. You get a multi-track session, and then you can start moving things around. You can start highlighting them. But the more I did it, the more things I started to figure out, and the deeper I was able to take it. I could go ahead and add another track, and I can say you could sing into the system if you wanted to. Now, I'm not a singer, but I could go ahead and at least upload an audio sample of this is what I want the melody to sound like. And then it will copy that melody. So I could do that. And then I could do, highlight something, say I want strings to play in this section of the song. And it will play strings in just that section of the song. And you can give more and more instruction. And even in the lyrics, like I can say, okay, this is the first chorus and I want it to build. And you can hear the music start to build as it's going on. And I just kept going and going and going. And the deeper I got, the better it got. And I got to a point where I feel like it's really, really good. And in most cases, probably better than what we could have done in the studio as far as writing a song. Now, sonically, the studio still sounds better. But if you're not A-Bing them side by side, you're probably not going to be able to notice the difference. I played these songs for my family because a lot of these songs I just wrote songs for my family. Mm-hmm. And I play them for my family, and they had no idea. My wife was like, when did you have time to go to Nashville? She didn't know I was doing this.
Yeah.
So they sound really, really good, and they're getting better. I mean, you can program in breath, like you can hear breath with the AI. So it's pretty impressive. Like
Yeah.
I did a song for my daughter. My daughter has been diagnosed with functional neurologic disorder. So it's a disorder where the brain associates things different in sometimes. Like she'll occasionally pass out, or she'll have a seizure, or something just not typical. But so she goes through these challenges, and I wrote a song for her, and she liked it. It was nice, made my wife cry, that type of thing. And
Nice job.
so
Nice.
that's the mark of success, right? So
For sure it is. You better believe it is.
so we did that. And then my daughter, unfortunately, had to go in the hospital for just under a week. She was in there over Thanksgiving. She had very severe attacks, and they were trying to run tests to figure out what was causing them. And when she did that, she started to feel down. She wasn't herself,
Sure.
at least at the beginning. Towards the end of it, she started to realize, okay, they're testing me, they're finding things. But I wrote a song for her when she was in there. And my daughter's like any other teenager. She likes Taylor Swift. She likes Lana Del Rey. She likes all these pop artists. But she's starting to really like bands like Hailstorm and other hard rock bands. So I decided to write a song for her. I told her, I said, I'm writing you your anthem. It's your FU song that you can sing back to the world.
We're not gonna
Right.
take it.
Exactly.
Okay, there we go.
So I did it, but I did it in a hard rock style.
Yeah.
But by doing that, that means I get to experiment some more. So I started experimenting to see if I can make AI scream, that metal scream
Yeah.
that bands
Yeah.
do. And,
Yeah.
can I get it to do a double bass, or where the kick drums is da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So I just tried all these different things. And the more things I try, the more I'm trying to figure out, okay, I can get it to do this and I can get it to do that. So it's been very, very impressive. And I mean, I'm a studio guy. I worked in, like I said, for 35 years producing records. And I look at this like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then I started to dig into it in the industry. And this is where things get a little spicy.
Okay.
People in the industry have been using this for a while now. And they're just not telling people. I noticed I interview artists on my show, and I've heard some of their music, and I'm like, man, that's really good. And, they're talking about, oh, yeah, I record this with this one guy out of a bedroom studio in Connecticut. I'm thinking to myself, there's no way. No way. And now I go back and I listen to those songs. I'm like, okay, I see what you did. You've got your song being played by AI, and now you're just going in and singing over it.
Well, I think the drumming would be one of those areas. I mean, where you could do. I mean, there's things. Certainly, there are drummers who can do very intricate, kit work, but you can get the best drummer in the world, right? And it seems like AI would be pretty good at that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is awesome. Now, if you truly A/B it to something that was done in the studio, you're going to hear nuance differences. Or if you critically listen to an AI version that maybe like the first version AI gives you is not always the best. You might have to tweak it or adjust it. And at those moments, you can hear the differences. But if you go ahead and tweak it through the process, you can pretty much start eliminating those differences.
When you say tweak it in the process, we think of AI as a series of prompts now, right? So you say something and it does some stuff, and you say something and it does some stuff. In the music production space, is it the same way? So do you say, do this, and then it gives you it gives you a WAV file to play or whatever?
Yeah,
how's that work?
Thank you. Yes, there's exactly a few of those things. There's a few services out right now that do the same thing. So you get a dialog box, you type what you want, and you may get a menu where you can select what style of music. So you in the pull down menu, you might select country or rock. And then in the dialog box, you type what it is you want it to be. And you get a song that the system writes for you. Mm-hmm. But there's an advanced feature where you can click and it opens up a lyric dialog box. So now you have 2 dialog boxes, one for your prompts and one for your lyrics. So when you put your lyrics in there, you can now start making notes for your lyrics, your verse, chorus, a bridge, and so on. But then in your dialog box, now you can say, okay, I want this to be not just a country song. I want it to be a hard rocking country song with heavy drums and heavy guitars. And I want the vocals to be a male baritone vocal with a lot of grit and drive in their vocal and their voice. And the system just starts doing all the things that you keep typing in. And the more you type in, the more you get it to be exactly what you want it to be. And then if you want to pay the extra money and get the multi-track version and all that stuff, you can now start uploading, like I said, I can't sing, but I could probably do it well enough to give the system an idea of what the melody should be. So I can hum that into the dialog box or into the recorder. And then it will go ahead and take the melody I did and put my lyrics to that melody and sing it itself. And then my humming just goes away.
I can imagine you could teach it harmonies if you wanted to.
Oh, it does it all.
Right.
Yeah. It does it all on its own. And if you wanted to do something specific, you've got to type that in.
Right.
Like I did one song where I typed in a choir just to see if it would do, the old school Memphis style choirs. And boom, there you go. You got a song.
Yeah, the old Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is, right? Got the big choir.
Yep,
Right,
exactly.
Yeah. No,
And you could do that. I mean, if you really want to be creative with it, there are a couple other things you could do is like say Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. You can take the exact description of how you would describe Foreigner. You could say, okay, it's a 80s. You can't say play like Foreigner because the system will say we're not allowed to utilize names.
Right. Yep.
But what you can do is say, this is to be like an 80s power ballad with this feel to it. And you just describe what Foreigner is. Like I wrote a song and I pretty much described what Nickelback was.
Okay.
And it played the song and sounds like Nickelback.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
And that's one of the samples. I'll play one of those.
We're going to play some, hang tight here. If you're listening live or listening to the podcast, we're going to play some samples here kind of shortly. So a little chat, and then we're going to dive into some samples. Don't leave. I know some people get uncomfortable when you start playing music on a podcast. I was actually, beforehand, I was telling Jay, I was like, are we going to get flagged on YouTube? And I think we'll have to see how it goes. I think they're going to flag me. I think their algorithms are going to think this is real of some kind.
Yeah.
It's original. You haven't published it, so it's not out there, right? You said, did you put it on Spotify? Didn't you tell me?
I do have some music on Spotify,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
But I tried to pick songs that were not.
Okay. Well, good. We'll see tonight how it goes. By the way, I mean,
I think you'll get flagged anyway.
All they'll say is you can't monetize. And I'm like, oh, okay, there goes my 17 cents. For
you get 17 cents.
Yeah, wait.
I don't get that much.
How did you get 17 cents? What'd you learn through the process? What do you take away from this? What's the long game on this for you? You think you'll keep doing stuff like this, or was it just to see because you talk about it on your podcast?
Yeah, I did it as an experiment, just because we were talking with Robbie Johnson. Robbie Johnson's a country artist, and he was talking about how the AI music just doesn't have the feel. Because recently there was an AI song that went to #1 on the country charts.
Oh, wow.
So, and that was a big deal. But if we take a look at it a little deeper, it didn't really go to #1 on Billboard or anything like that. What it was is it went #1 on one of the digital streaming services. So what happened was somebody bought several hundred copies of it. Most likely the person who wrote it bought several hundred copies overnight one night, caused it to shoot up the charts and show up on the chart as #1 for that night.
Okay.
And they took a screenshot, and all the news people ran with it saying country's first #1 hit by AI.
Yeah. So that generated, I got to go listen to this.
Right. So everybody starts going to listen to it. And now it's got millions of views, and people know what it is. So that's all fine. So it did that. So I wanted, like I said, to experiment, and we tried it, and we tried all the different things. And I said, okay, I wrote the first song for my daughter, and then my wife's like, well, where's my song? So I'm like, okay, so I wrote a song for my wife, and then well, you can't have one without your other daughter. So I wrote one for the other daughter, and then the other daughter. So now I've got like an album's worth of songs. So what I tried to do is just experiment differently on each one of the songs.
Yeah.
So I want this one to sound like this, and I tried different prompts and different things, all of which I used the multi-track version and tweaked. Because one of the things I found out is, like any other AI model, you can't just change one thing. Like, say I sang the song wrong or programmed the wrong lyric. So one of the lines in the song was wrong. I can't just retype the lyric and it re-sing it. What happens is you retype the lyric and it replays an entirely different music bed too.
Oh, man.
Now, it'll be, you can make it follow a similar music bed. So it'll, sing the same melody or sing the same this, but you can't just fix the lyric. So what I was doing, and I found that happen a few times, where you write, because when you're writing lyrics, it's like anything else. It's always changing. You're always thinking of a better lyric or something. So what I would do is, if I hit a spot where I say, okay, I changed this line, I want it to change, I would program the AI system to cover the song. So it will cover a song. And you can say, I want it to cover it strict as can be, or you can be very loose with it. So if I say cover it and I tell it to be strict, it will sing the same exact melody.
Okay.
So then what I do is I take that in the multi-track, I take just the vocal, I download it,
Got it.
I go back to the original,
Yeah.
I upload that vocal and cut just that line and paste it in where it's supposed to be. And now I have the line corrected. But that's, I would say, more of an advanced thing than your typical person's going to do when using AI.
Yeah. Well, I think we sometimes think of this AI experiment as like, okay, a few lines and then it spits out a song. And you can do that. They're terrible. I mean, even every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut, right? So, you're gonna, every once in a while you're gonna stumble on one. But I think when people think of this music, I mean, you actually kind of took a professional approach to it, which is, hey, I got in the studio, you would be writing down the, on a sheet of paper or whatever, a computer or whatever, however they're doing it these days. You'd be writing those notes so you could come back to it. You might be changing it from time to time, but the bass line, not this bass, but the bass line,
the basic tracks of the song.
Yeah, the basic tracks are going to stay the same. But you're right, you get a little bit of a challenge with the AI where it wants to be creative all the time. So you're like, hey, tweak this, and then it just changes the whole thing.
It's an entirely different song.
Yeah.
Now, you can do that. Like you're saying, you take the lyrics you typed out, and whatever you paste in, it's going to sing. Now, then you can take chord changes. You can say, these are my chord changes. I want you to use these, and whatever you put in, it will play. Or you could say, here's my lyrics, play your own chord changes.
Yeah.
And it will. So it's whatever you want to do. Now, I had a guest, a guy named Corey Hooker, from Corey Hooker and the Cadillac Preachers. So he's, they call it, what is it? It's not alternative rock. It's, I forget whatever they called it. It was some clever name. But it's basically alternative folk rock or that type of stuff. And he was saying how it's too expensive for them to go in the studio and record too often. So what they do is they save up till they get a batch of songs, and then they go in and they play them live because they don't have the money for them to play each individual song, and they go back and keep tweaking them. So they wait till they get to the point where they can do it live, and then they go in and they just run down 10 or 12 songs, which is great. But I told them, well, hey, I just did this experiment, and I would like to play you something. So I played him a song, and he's like, oh, that's really good. He goes, is that Jason Aldean? And I said, no. And
that's the thought. You played a thing, and I thought, it's that. It was the same kind of thing. I thought, did you get some, name the artist, right?
Right.
There. Yeah.
So I played it for him, and I was like, what do you think? I said, I wrote that. And he goes, yeah, that's good. And I said, well, I could do the same thing for you if you want. He goes, you could? He goes, what, can I come over there and sing it? I'm like, well, you could. I said, but why don't I show you? I said, do me a favor, send me a set of your lyrics right now. Anything you're working on. And he sent me 2 paragraphs, not even broken out in diverse chorus, nothing. He sent me 2 paragraphs he had on his notepad on his phone. He texted them to me. I copied them and I pasted them in. And I said, "What style of music do you like?" I said, "What would you consider the style to be?" And he said it to me, and I just typed it in, not on the screen, so he couldn't see what I was doing.
Right.
And he said, "All right." So I said, "Okay, good." And then I put it on the screen. I said, "So here's your lyrics, and here's the style of music. Nothing else. Just here's lyrics, here's the style of music." And I hit create in 30 seconds, and I'm not exaggerating. 30 seconds later, there was 2 different versions of the song for him to preview.
Yeah.
And he goes,
could you pick one of the 2? I mean, so it gives you 2, and then it's like, okay, this is the one I want. You can continue to kind of work on that one. Is that the way it works?
Yep.
Wow.
And if you ever decide to go back to the other one, it's still there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we did that, and he's like, "Oh, that's exactly what I heard in my head." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "But I could never release a song with AI singing it and not me." I said, "No, you couldn't, but I can tell you what." I said, "Why don't you just re-sing it yourself?"
Yeah.
He said, "Well, how do I do that?" I said, "Well, here." And we put it in the multi-track, and I muted the vocal. I said, "Now sing it."
Yeah. Yeah.
So he goes, "Well, can I come over to your place and do that?" I'm like, "You could." I said, "But you could just do it out of your place."
Yeah.
He said, "Well,
will it produce the sheet music too? If for musicians, if you want, would it make sheet music?
Some of them do. The one I use does not, at least not at the moment.
Okay.
Now, there's a handful of different varieties of it, and some of them, they're like anything else. They each all have their specialty. So the one I have been dabbling with is it's Suno. It's the most popular one there is out there right now. That's why I chose it. But it's the best at creating music. There's others that allow you to do different things. Like there's another one that allows you can tweak a lyric and it'll just re-sing the lyric. And you can kind of do that with Suno too. So if somebody does out there knows how to use Suno, there is a way you can have it re-sing a line. But if you have it re-sing just the one line, it will sing it potentially in another voice. It could sing it at a different volume level, a different melody. So
that's interesting. Well, it makes kind of sense. I mean, in some of the AI work that I've been doing, you go down a rabbit hole, and then if you throw something new into it, it starts refiguring things out for you, right?
Right.
It's like, oh, new information. And so
what can I do with this?
Yeah, no, right. It's continually optimizing, or maybe what it thinks it's optimizing, right? From that perspective. Yeah. Well, that's super cool.
Well, another thing I did too, to just continue down the experiment path,
Yeah.
is I took one song and produced it both in the studio and through AI to see just how different it would be. So I have one song to play for you tonight that I have the studio version that was done in a Nashville studio
That'd be great.
with A session players in one of the best studios in the world, and the AI version of the same song that was just done through prompts and manipulation.
Yeah, maybe we can try those. We won't say what they are, and then for the live viewers, you can kind of guess. I did this at work. I made a voice clone for me, and then I was doing these experiments. I was showing folks what you could do. This was a year ago now, and with voice clones. And so I played 2 different samples, and I said, "Hey, I've been messing around with AI. I don't think you can tell the difference between the 2. So you tell me which one is real and which one's the fake." So I played both of them, and every single one of them, I must have done it 6 times, picked one of the 2. And then I said, they're both AI, right?
Right.
And nobody, we have this AI bias, right? We have this, when we're told it's AI, we start listening for certain things. When we don't know, we don't listen as carefully, or we're not as critical about it. So I think, it's interesting in this setting, we'll play these 2 and let the chat room figure out. So hang tight, chat room, as we go through here. You'll have some audience participation here in a moment. But Jay, anything else on the experiment side of things?
I do, and I've brought 6 samples, and not intended to play the entire song. So just play like a verse chorus of each one of them, so you get the feel.
They're pretty cool.
But
they're good to listen to. I like them.
But I will play them for you and kind of explain why they're done like that. But yeah, I mean, I even took it a step further my co-host Tiffany Mason, she wanted me to help her write a song, and she's never written a song before, nothing. So she just sent me some lyrics, and I said, just send them to me. So she sent me the lyrics, and then I said, do you have any melodies or anything in mind? Anything you're modeling this after? Or anything? She goes, well, I've sung them into my phone, but she goes, I'm too embarrassed to send you that stuff. So just send it to me. So she sends me the lyrics and this melody that she sang into the phone. I took it in the system. I uploaded her. Well, first I tweaked her lyrics because I wanted to put it into a true format. So I restructured her lyrics. I did, verse, chorus, and bridges, and all that stuff, and I tweaked it out, made it systematic. And I'm very mathematical when it comes to music. It's probably the wrong way to be with music.
No,
But
music is math.
I know, and I'm a very mathematical person.
Yeah, no way.
So I did that. I tweaked her lyrics. I put it in the system. I prompted the hell out of it, and then I took it into multi-track and uploaded her melodies and did all that stuff. And then I played it for her and told her, I said, hey, we're going to go ahead and review this song tonight on the show. And when I played it for her, she's listened to it. You can see her checking it out. Then all of a sudden this singer starts singing and she's still going. And all of a sudden we get to the chorus and her eyes just go, she just freaks out and like pauses like a deer in headlights. Oh my God, that's my song. And she couldn't believe it. And I think it turned out awesome. I mean, it really did. I mean, if you want to hear any of that, I can play that for you too.
Oh, for sure.
That was like the first one. That was like the very, very beginning of all this.
The very first one you did was that one?
First one I did, I think, was my daughter's, and then the first one I did of any effort was hers.
Do you think have they gotten progressively, in your mind, have they gotten progressively better?
Yes.
Like, would you go back to the first one and redo it now that you know what you know?
It's hard. I told Tiffany this on the show. It's like I think this is the best thing in the world for songwriters. Like, if you're writing a song, you write a song. Like, if you're a lyricist, like that's what I did when I was in Nashville. I wrote lyrics, and you can do that, and you can paste it in here, and you can come up with 50 different versions and try everything you want to try until you nail it. And then when you nail it, then take it in the studio. It's thousands of dollars to go in a professional studio.
Yeah.
So this gives you the ability to try whatever you want. And then you can go in the studio and record it.
Practice it.
So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have noticed because of this, I mean, I haven't written a song in a while. I mean, I used to write them all the time. I started writing songs in the mid-'80s. And I hooked up with a publishing company in the early 90s or late 80s, early 90s. They put songs in television shows and movies, and that's why I was working in New York. And I had some success. I mean, songs in Saturday Night Live. The publishing company put songs in TV shows, movies. It was some minor success. As a songwriter, it paid the bills.
Sure.
And then I moved to Nashville and I started working with what I consider real songwriters. I was like, oh my God, they're at a whole level above me. So I worked with some of them, and I was lucky. I wrote a few songs, including the one I wrote for my wife that was cut by an artist in Nashville. So I had a few cuts. That's what they call them when an artist records your song. They call it a cut. So I had a few cuts and had a little bit of success doing it, but not much. And then, my big thing was I was an engineer and recorded the records. So doing all that stuff, I think this stuff is great for prep work. You do it, you get used to it, and you get a feel for things, you take it in the studio, you save that kind of money, and you produce a record. But what I was telling Tiffany on the show was, now that she's heard that song, the version that I did for her, and if we took that in the studio tomorrow with all these A session players, she's going to hear that version in her head, and she's not going to want it to change.
Yeah.
She's going to ask those musicians to play exactly the way it is in or on the AI version.
Right.
So a lot of it is what you hear the first time. Going back to your question, would I change anything? A lot of it is what you hear the first time around. You don't want to change it. You're like, oh, I like
funny
that.
The way that like it gets rooted in you
Instantly.
Like, you hear it and you like it, and then you're like, yeah, that's it. And then you don't want to you don't want it to change. You're like, no. Don't
Right.
mess with it. Like, it's good enough. It actually, I mean, for some musicians, it's a stumbling block because the first isn't necessarily the best. We all
Right.
think it's the best, right? We hear it and like,
Well,
but
I have a
it
sample
could
of
be-
that for you.
Okay. Well, that'd be
The
good.
song
Yeah.
I wrote for my daughter when she had her stay in the hospital. I wrote a song, and I wanted to feel like an Avril Lavigne song. So, to me, not a country song. And I wanted it to be from her point of view, as if she was the one singing the song. So I wanted it to be more aggressive, more pop rockish. So I created a song that sounded like Avril Lavigne. And then my daughter heard it. She goes, "Oh, that's nice." And I'm like, "Well, do you like it?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, great. I'm glad I spent so much time on this." She goes, "Sounds kind of Disney-ish."
Oh,
And I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "Any way we can make it harder?" So I said, "Okay." And I went back and I did a reimagine of the song. And I didn't just tweak what I had. I started from scratch.
oh,
And I created a hard rock version. So I have those two versions. And now that I've listened to it 1,000 times,
yeah.
I like the hard rock version much better.
Nice. Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah.
But it took a
Well,
while
it's-
for me to
Yeah, no, it's creativity is weird that way, and you get
Really
something
is.
and you're like, oh, this works. And then, you're like, no, let's not change it. And sometimes changing it is the better option. Right. I mean, I think for a lot, this is, I mean, in any creative space, this is always the challenge, right? Of like, when do you stop? And there's sometimes you should, and there's sometimes you shouldn't. And the hard part, the genius is knowing when to stop, in the process. So, okay, let's listen to some music. Where do you like, what's first? What's the first one you want to do for us?
All right. And what I'd like to do first is just the song that I wrote for my wife. I wrote this song for our wedding. So I wrote it. We've been married 15 years now. So this is a 15-year-old song. I wrote it. It's called For This Life. I wrote it for her. It was lucky enough to be cut by an artist named Maddie McCree, a country rock artist. So I have the original version, the AI version, and then a reimagined version.
Okay, so don't give away what they are. We're going to play 3 samples. And chat room, we want to which is which in that as we go through. So Jay, play sample A, whatever that is.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing what I have on here
Yeah.
and share the new one.
Okay. Bring it.
Sample A.
I know I never let you in. I know I never let you know. I never thought it'd come to this. I never thought I'd see you go. Now it tears me up knowing that you've gone away, knowing that I never said the things to make you stay. Won't you look into my eyes? Won't you give this one more chance? Of all the light inside of lies, and you'll find you won't need to compromise. I wanna be in all your plans. We can set aside the lies. You can finally take my hand for this life.
Okay, that's the first chorus of that song.
Okay, that's A. So verse and chorus. Lock it in. Okay, let me get it on the screen. All right, go ahead.
know I never let you in. I know I never let you know. I never thought it'd come to this. I never thought I'd see you go. And now it tears me up knowing that you've gone away, knowing that I never said the things to make you stay. Won't you look into my eyes? Won't you give this one more chance before the light inside us dies and you'll find you won't need to compromise. I wanna be in all your plans. We can set aside the lies and you can finally take my hand for this life.
Okay, that's B. Boy, I've already got a preconceived notion, and I hope I'm right. But all of a sudden, I'm starting to question my listening skills.
Right.
Like, oh man, so. Anyways, that's B. And so one was AI, one was original, and then one was a reimagined.
I'll play the reimagined one, but guess on A and B.
Okay, so A and B, one could be either or. And C is going to be the reimagined version. Is that what you're playing? Okay.
That's
and
correct.
This was reimagined by AI, right?
This is basically, I'll kind of tell you what I did. When I put those songs together for my daughter and my wife, when I wrote everybody a song, my wife's like, well, what about the song you wrote for me, for our wedding? I'm like, well, it doesn't fit into this now. I've already done it. And she's like, well, can we just do it this way now? So I said, sure. And I did the AI version, one of the two that you just heard. And she said, well, what if we make it different? So I said, well, what do you mean different? She goes, well, you wanted to put a faster song on. Can we make it faster? So I said, okay. So I went ahead and I created a rock version of it, or a country rock version of it. And I tried to make it sound as close to like a Nickelback sound as I could.
All right. Good old Nickelback. All right.
So that's what I came up with.
All right.
I'm looking at all the responses coming in. I'll tell you what, I'll play the reimagined version and then we'll go ahead and
we'll disclose on the backside. Yeah.
Okay. So this is
fun. I kind of like doing this.
Go ahead and pop it up and I'll.
Yeah, there you go. It's all ready.
You in. I know I never let you know. I never thought it'd come to this. I never thought I'd see you go, and now it tears me up knowing that you're gone away, knowing that I never said the things to make you stay. Won't you look into my eyes? Won't you give this one more chance before the light inside us dies and you'll find
if you would have played that first, I would have told you that was the
real
artist.
One.
That was the artist. If you would have played C first. Chat room, John Biggs is checking in. He said A is AI and B is the original. Chat room, we got a few more of you out there. What do you guys think? A or B as the AI? I really hope I'm wrong on this one, because I want to be wrong. But I think like B was really, really good. and so I'm going to say B is the original, or B is the live artists, and A is the AI. I'm going to go with John. How close am I on that one?
So you ready for me to spill it?
Yeah. Spill the beans.
A was the original. B was the AI.
See, I told you I wanted to be wrong. I thought I was for sure like, no way.
Let me show you this just to kind of put it into perspective here. I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. I knew I was going to be wrong, but
this is Ocean Way Studio. This is Ocean Way Studio in Nashville. It's an old church. This is the largest Neve console in production. This is where that song was recorded. With
A
with
was
yes,
recorded.
with the A players that have played on every country record under the sun. I mean, you couldn't
That's crazy. No.
get any better of a comparison.
Yeah. No, I kind of knew, like, when I was listening to it, I'm like, I know I'm going to get this wrong because B was so good, right? And C was dynamite. Like that. Now, okay, that may play into more of my musical genre, although not a giant Nickelback fan, but I like that style of music, right?
Yeah, it's driving country music with a Nickelback flair.
Yeah. Oh, darn it.
Here, let me go back to the original now. Just play a piece of that.
Yeah, just a short piece. Here we go.
Yeah.
No, I never gave enough.
Here, I'll tell you.
Need to compromise. I wanna be in all your plans. We can set aside the lies, and you can finally take my hand for this life. Just look into my eyes.
The vocals are better on the AI version. Like the harmonies are tighter. I mean, there's I don't know if there's harmonies in there, but the vocal quality is better on B. Like the guitar sound is better.
It's amazing.
That's crazy. Okay, let's hear the one for your daughter. That's the one I want to hear. If we
right.
Can we play that one?
Yes, I will play you a piece of the Avril Lavigne one, and then I'll play a piece of what I ended up going with.
Yeah. Sounds good. Bring those up and we'll. That's crazy. That's crazy. I wanted to be wrong so bad. Okay,
you gotta pop it up there for me.
Yeah, there we go.
I wake up in a world that moves sideways. Some days hit like a runaway train, but I lace up my boots and I face it. Yeah, I rise even when I feel unchained. I ain't broken, I ain't fragile. I'm a wildfire in a storm. I take the hit and keep on swinging. I get knocked down, but I transform. People see the surface, they don't know what's underneath. But I'm still behind the smile and fire every time I breathe. I'm strong enough, don't tell me that I can't fight back.
All right. So that was what I would call the original of that song.
Okay.
And then this is the one we...
Now, when you say original AI or original...
That's the original AI, the first one I wrote.
Yeah.
Now, this is the one we settled on. This is the one I tweaked out and worked on and worked really hard to create. So the first one was just like the original thing with my lyrics, my prompts, guidance, and that's it.
Okay.
Then this is the version that my daughter wanted me to create, a little heavier. So I did that, and then this is the one I tweaked.
Okay.
I wake up in a world that moves sideways. Some days hit like a runaway train, but I boots and I face it. Yeah, I rise even when I feel I'm chained. I ain't broken, I ain't fragile. I'm a wildfire in a storm. I take the hit and keep on swinging. I get knocked down, but I transform. People see the surface, they don't know what's underneath. But I'm still behind the smiling fire every time I breathe. I'm strong enough, don't tell me that I can't fight back. I'm loud enough, turn it up, feel my heart attack. I'm more than the battles I never asked for, more than the days that try to break me apart. I'm strong enough, and I'm taking my...
John says country metal. That's exactly what I'm going for, John.
Yeah.
I'm from Boston. I love metal music, and I work in Nashville doing country music.
Well, what's interesting, so in that genre, a little Screamo, right? There's a little Screamo. It started with a little Screamo. And typically there would be a Screamo artist, and then you would have not always, but a female vocalist who would do the smooth part of the music. You are able to blend those two in that, where she did both parts, right? For the most part.
Yep.
And you could even hear, like, there was one spot that there was some growling in there. No female singer in the world is going to try to do that because she's going to just destroy her voice in the process, right? To get that done, right? Just destroy it. But you could, in this scenario, you could, right? You're just asking the AI to growl. You know?
Now, here, let me play the end of that song, and you'll hear even more vocal tricks.
Scream back at the shadows, you don't get to win. Yeah, the hits come hard, but I hit harder. This fire in my chest only burns brighter. I'm not afraid of the days that shake me. I'm not ashamed of the nights that break me. I'm still here, still rising, still fighting, still mad. I'm strong.
That would destroy any musician. Like, you know, yeah, this is crazy. No, it's really hard to believe. Like, as I listen to that, I'm like, there's moments I hear, you just hear it's a studio artist in there doing and again, in a typical scenario with this kind of genre, you'd have a guy doing the Screamo part, ruining his voice from that, and the lady would do the girl would do the undercurrent
part.
Yeah, the smooth part of it. So,
well, if you don't mind, I have one more sample for you.
I don't mind. Do you want to? Is it already queued up?
Yeah, it's queued up. I'll just have to add it to the screen.
Yeah, reshare here, and we'll bring it in. And I get, listen, regular listeners, I get that's not your style, or that may not be your style of music, and you're like, oh my gosh. But just listen, from a technical standpoint with music, my son's a drummer, and so to hear the double bass that's being played in that is incredible. Like, you're just like, oh, that's really good drumming that's going on there.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it sounds like it's from the radio.
Yeah.
All right. 3.5 minutes, sir.
Okay.
Here we go. Different feel. I said I wanted this one to be more techie.
Ooh.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go live. Jim Collison at the helm, taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go. If it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by Got questions on the stream, got answers on deck. Gadgets on the table, keep the conversation tech. From the smart home hub to the latest in cams. If it helps you live better, you know we're fans. It's a loyal crowd and they show up strong. Learning, laughing, geeking all episode long. Tips, tricks, tools, we're breaking them down. It's the best tech talk from anywhere around. So grab your coffee and a Lipto cream, 'cause the next big thing is on your screen. Welcome to Home Gadget Geeks, where the screens glow bright and the Wi-Fi peaks. From the workshop bench to the SUV seat, it's the show you queue up when your week feels beat. Yeah, we talk gear, we talk life, we talk shortcuts that make things right. For the average guy who loves to meet, come hang out with Home Gadget Geeks. Whether you're smart home dreaming or cable taming, firmware flashing or keyboard gaming, Jim and the crew keep the vibe unique. You're always in good hands at Home Gadget Geeks. Welcome to Home Gadget Geeks, where the screens glow bright and the Wi-Fi peaks. If you're looking for the tech talk you can actually keep, then settle on in with Home Gadget Geeks.
Dude, that is sweet.
There you go.
Wow, thank you. I mean, thanks for doing that. What's your investment in the, like, how long do you think it took you to come up with that?
Probably a day driving to and back from work, writing the lyrics, and then got home and did all the prompts and stuff.
Yeah.
So and then I tweaked it and then changed the lyrics and went back because I thought a few of the. I mean, it's hard to say this, but I thought a few of the lyrics were corny.
Sure. No.
So I
well,
went back
it's a corny podcast.
So I went back and changed them. So at one point, I mean, it just was different.
Yeah, it's got that Monday Night Football vibe, right? With or it's not Monday night, it's Sunday night, right? It's where the who do they got somebody doing it different now, but who was the gal who was Sunday
Carrie
night?
Underwood.
Yeah, Carrie Underwood. It's got that kind of feel to it, right? When you started playing it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then when I realized it was about the show, I was like, yeah, this has got that Sunday Night Football vibe kind of feel to it,
Here, you want to just, I don't know how much time you want to spend talking here, but if you want, I can mess with you as we're doing this.
Yeah, we got a little bit more time if you want to. That would so
we
is
can
that
talk,
like,
I'm going to mess with you while we talk.
Okay.
So if you want to watch me mess with you, I can share the screen.
Yeah, here, go ahead, share the screen. Yeah, I think so.
So this is the app, the desktop version of it. And if I come over, click on the library, you can see a lot of the songs that I've been working on. It even gives you cover art, does everything. This is the one I did for my daughter. And then this one here is yours. So if I come here and let's do this first. I'm going to come here and create a cover of the song. So here's the lyrics. Wait for it all to load up here. So here's the lyrics. You can see kind of my little prompts through there. Build on the pre-chorus, full at the choruses, and then even there's some spot down here where you can see I put an extra S. If you put an extra S on Geeks, it holds that word out, so it'll lengthen that word.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite style of music?
Ooh, my favorite style for something like this. Huey Lewis, like 80s Huey Lewis kind of,
Okay, if we're going to do that, let's say, what genre is Huey Lewis in the news? Just so we can get an exact genre. It's pop, rock, rock and roll, new wave. So let's just take that. Okay, all I did is I went to Google and I asked what genre it was. This is what it told me. So it's pop rock, blending elements of rock and roll, new wave, and blues, blue-eyed soul, and R&B.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And you can then come down here. There's advanced options. So if you click on that, you can choose whether it be male or female vocal. So we already have it male. We'll keep it male.
Yeah.
And then you have these 3 sliders. You got one. The first one's called weirdness. So if you tweak the weirdness, you're going to get something completely out of the box. Right. Style, musical style, or the vocal style. I'm not going to touch any of them. Just going to see whatever it comes up with. All right, so I'm going to hit create, and you'll instantly see, if we go to the library, there's your 2 versions. And it's going to go ahead and create them, and in 30 or so seconds, we'll be able to play them.
Are you paying AI credits for these? Is it included in a monthly subscription? How's that work?
I don't know if you can see down here. It's kind of cut off on the screen. Let me see if I can move it over a little for you. No, it's not going to. So it's just sharing the window. But yeah, I get 10,000 credits a month.
Okay. So it's a lot like 11 Labs. From that, you're getting credits. Yeah.
Now you can get less. You can pay less. You can just do the prompt only version, and you can pay less for it and you get less credits, but you still get like 500 credits. Each credit is a song. So that's 500 songs.
Wow.
So, I'm never going to write 10,000 songs in a month, but
unless you're on my show next week doing this again.
Right. Hey, we'll do it for anybody. You want a Christmas, Christmas present for your
Christmas
wife?
Melody? Yeah.
Give me a few prompts. We'll write something for your wife.
Yeah.
So I mean, it to me, it's pretty impressive. You can see the songs are going, and what I've noticed too is it's faster on the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it processing it locally, or is it doing it in the cloud?
It's doing it in the cloud.
Yeah. Got it.
And what I've noticed too is, like, on the phone, you don't get as much, even with the paid upgrades and stuff, you don't get as many options on the phone. But what I did notice is, like, if I did this the other day, and I don't recommend this, please do not do as I do. But I was driving to work. It's an 1.5-hour drive, and I was, singing a song in my head, kind of had it going in my head. So I just opened up the notepad, and I just went ahead and dictated the lyrics. And then I was like, okay, got them. And I said, yeah, I like it though. I made a few tweaks as I'm driving, thinking, okay, yeah, just like anything else. You're driving, you're thinking of ideas. Yeah. I'm jotting them down in the notepad on the phone. And then I'm like, man, I wonder what this would sound like this. And all I did is I just copied my notepad and pasted it in the app while I was driving. And 30 seconds later, I had a song that I could listen to. Mm-hmm. So, all right, here you go.
All right, this is sample 1 of the reimagined Home Gadget Geeks.
Did we do it without the lyrics by some chance? Oh, the lyrics are still there.
Just an extended intro.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go loud. Jim Collison at the helm, taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go. If it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by his side, bringing all that heat. Breaking down the tech talk in a language we speak. News, reviews, updates rolling in every week. Another test drive begins for the 10, 'cause the test
that's that one.
Yeah.
And just play a piece of this one.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go live. Jim Collison at the helm, taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the...
Not
So
too
those are the
different
two
between
versions
the two
there.
of those. Yeah, not too different. And I wouldn't necessarily say that's a Huey Lewis style, you know, for whatever, like, you know, it wouldn't, as we were thinking about that, probably should have said I listened to a lot more Genesis and Phil Collins than I probably listened to Huey Lewis, but that
but
singer is a lot. I mean, it's got this Keith Urban flavor to it, right? Like, it definitely sounds like Keith Urban, right? You know, and that kind of carried over. And now, because I said Huey Lewis, that might have biased me to that style, right? You know,
what I've noticed doing it is when you're covering it, which is what we just did, it in the sliders and stuff. I told you how we adjusted the sliders to, you know, it still sounds like the original song. So what I would recommend is you come over here and we go ahead. Let's just click out of this completely. Let's go here and create a song. So we're going to use those lyrics. We're going to go ahead and remove this, and we're going to go ahead and write an entirely different song and just say, we don't want to cover, we want to do death metal. Just something.
yeah.
Okay, and I just want to make sure we are not doing a cover. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. And so now we have lyrics and a prompt. Or I could put Genesis style. You want progressive rock? I mean, what do you want?
Yeah, try Genesis. Let's say like progressive rock similar to Genesis. That'd be interesting to see what they come up with.
We can't say Genesis.
Oh, so yeah.
So what I've done is I just went in here and searched Genesis.
Okay.
So, whoops. So, which was that? I come here, and
the album art's generated too? Brian was
Yes.
asking, is the album art's generated?
and some of it's really good, some of it's not. But I noticed too with the album art, everything you see there, you start to see some similarities.
Thanks for coming out, John. Yeah.
So progressive rock, 80s style, male, baritone.
Where the lead singer is the drummer.
Where the lead, dude, ready?
But we can't say Genesis.
Where the lead singer is also the drummer.
Love it. Love it.
Now, I only laugh because there's one of the songs I did where I was trying to push it to the extremes, and I wrote, you know, the end of my prompt was "and smack my ass and call me Sally," and it did it. So I thought it was funny.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
so it says it's covering it.
Well, let it roll. We'll see
what it does.
We'll see what it comes up with. The other, as you were doing that, the other band style I'd love to hear is the band that does the final countdown.
Yep.
Europe. Is it
Yeah.
Europe? Is that the name
Yes.
of the you know, the horns in there? But that's all good. That's all good. Yeah, this could, you know, when you think about for podcasters, right? We're always looking for theme songs and theme music, and this would be a way to kind of get the. So I have 3 versions now. I have to think about because I'm, you know, are you gonna allow me to kind of start mixing in this?
No,
I can't.
of course you can.
Got to start making it. Listen, I've had the same intro, like when you know, I say this is the Average Guy Network, and you found Home Gadget Geeks. You know that. That's an old host, Brian, who did that riff for me. I've done that for 666 episodes. So I wonder, Jay, if it wouldn't make more sense, as you think about this, instead of trying to rip it out of the song, let AI then tell AI, based on this song, create a riff for me that's in the same style, whatever, so that it all matches, and then you could have to figure out how to incorporate that in, right? Man, I've done it the same way for 666 episodes.
There is a few different things you could do, but what you could do is make it a instrumental, and then you can weave the music in and out and still have the full song for your, for anything else you want to use. So you basically take it into the multi-track version and mute the vocals.
Yeah.
And you can see some of these songs down here, all the ones that have this that says made with studio. Those are all the ones that were done and put into the multi-track version to tweak.
Okay. So I wonder how many trees were burning down by generating these songs,
Yeah, a good amount, I'm sure.
The power.
Here
My
you
daughter,
go.
Samantha, would be like, all right, here we go.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go live. Jim Collison at the helm taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go. If it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show.
That's a great
Rotating crew by his side,
That's a
bringing
great.
all that
I hope you
heat.
came up with that.
Breaking down the tech talk in a language we speak. News, reviews, updates rolling in every week. Another test drive begins for the tinkers, the testers, the curious minds. This is where the everyday tech guy shines. Welcome to Home Gadget Geeks, where the screens glow bright.
And then just a piece of the second version. So
This is a little.
Phil Collins for sure here.
Yes, this is the real Phil in the 80s.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go live. Jim Collison at the helm taking us for a ride.
Not the my name is not the smoothest part of the of the music. Trying to get that in there, right? Trying to get that, yeah. You would almost need the British. You would need to change. Phil's got that kind of British accent thing going on in his music. You'd almost need to get a different voice. But that had a little bit of Easy Lover, feel to it, right? The high horns.
Curious with your Europe.
Oh, yeah. The one-hit wonder of Europe.
Right?
This could be addicting, I think, for some people.
I want to do it that way. So let me see what Europe description says. Hard rock, arena rock, and glam metal. So hard rock, arena rock, and glam metal. Making sure I shut off all the other features. So while we talk, we'll at least create a Europe version.
A Europe. Was it Europe? Is that the name of the? Did I get that right? Is that the name of the
Final
band?
countdown?
Yeah, the final countdown. Yeah. That which has gotten popular again. For some reason, that's showing up. In a bunch of different things. I think they featured it on a Geico commercial or something. And it just exploded. Like all of a sudden it's everywhere, from just one commercial. When you're like when you think about you're creating lyrics, right? This is an area. It's like for me, it's like speaking a foreign language. I don't understand it. When you're coming up with lyrics in your head, what's that process look like? Like what are you doing? How does that work?
Well, to me, I was trying to tell my wife this as well. It's like I can only write about something that I've either experienced or witnessed. I'm not good at writing something about some just crazy thing or something I've never done. So that's why with my daughter, it's easier for me to write, because what I'll do is I'll see something happen. Like with my daughter, she, would say a couple lines or a couple things in the hospital. I'm like, oh, that could be a cool lyric. And I'll take that and I'll tweak it or start singing it in my head. But usually I pick either the verse or the chorus and get that in my head. And then I'm like, oh, that sounds good enough to continue. So I write the verses, the choruses, or, the verses are the story pretty much. So for me, I have to tell a story. That's like, even like your song, everything is just everything you've said or done throughout the 666 episodes. Yeah. So I just take lines you've said or things you've done, like even from your show on Saturday mornings there with Dave, your coffee pour. So it's like, okay, you're drinking coffee. Anything I could think of that, tied back to your show is what I did. But to me, it's very, very factual. It's all pictured. So
you got the news reviews. You got the news reviews idea in there too. You snuck that in. That's part of the intro, right?
Right.
Say news reviews, products, updates, and conversation.
The theme of it all. So
yeah.
So here's your new version.
All right, here we go.
Collison at the helm, taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go. If it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by your side, bringing all that heat. Breaking down the tech talk in a language we speak. News, reviews, updates rolling in. Every week another test drive begins for the team, cause the testers, the curious minds. This is where the everyday tech guys shine. Welcome to Home Gadget Geeks, where the screens glow bright and the Wi-Fi peaks. From the workshop bench to the SUV seat, it's the show you queue up when your week feels beat. Yeah, we talk gear, we talk life, we talk shortcuts that make things right for the average guy who loves to beat. Come hang out with Home Gadget Geeks. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a sick guitar on that. That is awesome.
So now, here, as long as it's still on the screen, as we're talking, I'm just going to go ahead and hit get the stems. So, and it tells you 50 credits to do this. So as it's doing that, as we're talking, it's just going to go ahead and break that into individual stems.
That's crazy. So the instruments, basically, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have a percussion
individual
and a
instruments.
guitar, Yeah, the guitar on that was sick. Like, that was really
It
good.
sounded like 80s.
It
80s
was
metal.
it was really hair band.
That's what I grew up on, for sure.
Yeah. No, most have. Yeah, that's the hair band that you're looking for on that one. So, Jay, that's super cool. That is super cool. It's interesting. We were talking about the lyrics before you generated that.
Yeah.
And there is a real art to that, because when it's wrong. Like I mentioned in that, I think if we were going to work on the lyrics on this, say you and I were going to sit down and start working on the lyrics, we'd have to change the part where it uses my name. is not that's not a comfortable in music. A full name is not a comfortable thing, right? For the most part, but there's some songs that get away with it. Taylor Swift's got stuff in there, Tim McGraw and stuff, right? But there's not, there's a few spots in there where you're like, oh yeah, that's a little awkward. We could probably tighten that up a smidge. If we had gone in there, so to speak, and so say like there was an area like I say news reviews, product updates, and conversation. The lyric changes that a little bit. If we went in there and optimized that lyric, would it change the whole song? Is that what you're saying? Would it change it all?
Yes.
If we did that? Okay.
No, but this is what I'm talking about. Like say this was the version like you fell in love with. You loved the music of this glam metal one. Yeah. We have the glam metal version right here. So if I hit play. So there it is. So now you can look and you find the vocals. I just shut them off. And now we can cover the other one and then fly that vocal into this song.
Oh, okay.
So if you really like that, but here, like for example, let's go back to the studio for a second, or back to the library as they call it, and do this. So let's say this is the version, this top one is the glam metal one, hard rock, arena rock. Let's say that's the one you like. Let's go ahead and create a cover of it. What we're going to do is we're not going to give it any prompts. So we want it to be very, very similar. We're going to go to the advanced, and I'm going to take this influence and say, I want it to be very, very similar. And then, give me an example of something that you'd like to change in a lyric here.
Let's see. Can you make that any bigger for me? Let's see.
I can do that.
Let me blow this out. Let's see. So I like that. The news reviews, the pre-chorus build, news reviews. Well, just as an example, I always say news reviews, product updates. So instead of saying rolling in, let's just put product updates rolling in, and see what it does just by changing one. Because that is going to have a little bit of a different cadence to it. Then it doesn't change the rhyming in the.
So what you
will that be enough?
What I would probably do is get rid of the rolling in part, just product news reviews and product updates.
But it won't rhyme with begins.
Oh, so you're going to try to rhyme everything? Okay.
Well, you did, right?
Well,
you had rolling in.
You
and
don't
begin.
have to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can. You did. You're the guy. You can do whatever.
Let's do that. And then you said something about your name.
Yeah. Like, what would you do as a songwriter, as a lyricist? What would you, instead of using my name, full name? What?
Let's do instead of this. Let's put with. So with Jim at the helm instead of Jim Collison at the helm.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Collison's not a great lyric. Just doesn't roll.
I also noticed some of the vocals don't like geeks. It says geeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've been lucky here tonight. All right. So anything else you want to change?
No, I think that's a good. I'd be interested to see how much it changes it.
So we can go back to chatting while we wait for those two to come up.
Yeah, I'll switch it back over to this side. There we go. Should have done that earlier. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic to go. Because you've got a genre style, right? You have a era style. You have a singing, then different vocal styles associated with it, right? And then you may think about the different instruments that you're playing with it as well. And so you've really got a whole bunch of different palette, so to speak, to paint from as you're kind of painting the picture on this, right?
Yeah, to me, I think it's great when, like, for me, I'm a lyricist. I write songs, and usually when I go in the studio, I tell the singer to do whatever they would want to do.
Yeah.
So for me to do that, it's the same thing with this. I don't necessarily care if you change the melody on me. Some people would take offense to it, so they would try to keep it exact.
Mm-hmm.
So like for this one, we put that dial at 100%. So this should be as close to that original melody with just changing the words. It'll change the music too. But like I said, if you had liked the music of the first one,
I did.
then we could just fly the vocals in.
I did. In fact, when you were playing when you isolated the guitar, we could isolate. So instead of the riff that I have at the beginning of the show now, we could take a section out of there and produce that. Brian, this is appropriate. Brian says, in the spirit of episode 666, if you played the song backwards, do you get demonic lyrics? Is there a switch in there, Jay?
As a matter of fact, let me show you.
Backward masking. Yeah, man, I can remember when that was a thing. Jeez Louise. Come on, friends. But anyways, it's play it backwards. That should be just a little switch in there, Jay, where it says play this backwards. I sick and live for Satan.
We got one version down.
Okay.
There was one of my songs that I did where I changed the lyrics, and it was even your song too, the original version of your song, I changed a few lyrics if I could find them here, like for the average guy who loves to meet, come hang out with Home Gadget Geeks. Originally, that said something different. And I was like, ooh, that doesn't sound good. It sounded fine. The problem was you could take it as something different. Mm-hmm. So I was like, we can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I changed it, and then it was hard to kind of fit it in there and everything. But here you go. Let's try this.
Okay.
Taking us for a ride.
Yeah, much
From
better.
the smart home lights to the gear on the go. If it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by your side, bringing all that heat. Breaking down the tech talk in a language we speak. News, reviews, product updates rolling in. Every week another test drive begins.
Little
for the
forced.
tinkers, the testers, the
Still a little
curious
forced.
minds.
I like the dubstep. The dun, 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 dun. Like I love that element in a piece of music when they kick out and dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the product update's still forced, right? I think we would still need to work on that. Like what would be a better lyric there? Doesn't it?
Well, if you want it to be on brand and say that, you'd probably lose the rolling in part.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so you could say product updates, and then the rolling in, you would need to change to something that rhymes with updates, right? Isn't that what you have to?
Yeah.
Isn't it about rhyming? Listen, I know Eminem said you can make anything rhyme.
Yes, you saw. Did you see that just recently? I saw that just yesterday.
The orange, right?
Yeah,
the whole thing
orange.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I'm horrible at that. Like I make everything rhyme, and it comes out sounding cheesy, and then I start changing things, and I never go back to the original rhyme, so that way it doesn't sound cheesy to me.
Yeah.
But this line right here
sounds cheesy.
What's that?
Do you think the rhyming, if it rhymes too much, it's cheesy?
I think if it does, yeah.
Okay.
Or if it's too blatant of a rhyme.
Yeah.
But like this line here, for the average guy who loves to meet, come hang out with Home Gadget Geeks. Originally, that said for the average guy who loves to tweak. And I was thinking, well, you can't say that because it sounds like you're on meth or something.
Yeah. Or somehow I'm a tweaking dancer, right?
Right. So I was like, no, I changed that.
That's probably smart.
But let's work on this line. So news, reviews, and product updates rolling in. So how about just news, reviews, and updates rolling in?
Yeah, I think that's I was just going to say that. Yeah, news, reviews, and updates rolling in.
All right. Any other changes?
Can we? So the voice has still got that Keith Urban kind of feel to it. Can you get it more like John Bon Jovi?
We can try.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Although it's not a Def Leppard sound, to be honest with you. This would be more like a.
This is more
like a Sammy Hagar sound, don't you think?
Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. Joe said Sarah Connor was just off by a few decades. That's great, Joe. Oh,
I thought that was funny.
Maybe the Terminators, maybe the 2026 Terminators are going to be musical rock bands. Just driving down the street. It'll be a combination of Mad Max and the Terminator, so the guy, Mad Max, the guy coming out, flames shooting out of his guitar. That was so great. That was a great movie. The newest Mad Max was incredible. They really got that one right. Reboots are tough, and somehow they got that one right. That's such a good Mad Max. I love Sammy Hagar too. So that's
it won't let me copy and paste into it, so I have to read it.
No worries. No worries. It does get just some interesting, that. So the intro to those, the two different, the first and the second on that one the intros were pretty different, right? How they came into the song.
But once it started, then it was the same.
It was the same. Yeah. It shows you back when I was in the military. While you're doing this, I'll fill some air. Back when I was in the military, we used to joke around about an album that was just about drum solos, train wrecks at the end of songs, and so we would start, we'd just be sitting around and everybody be, it was beatboxing before beatboxing was there, but we were all just a part of the drum, and at the end, we just play the end of songs, the train wreck. It was super fun. It was super fun to imagine all these different endings. Arena band, right? You got to remember, arena rock was hot.
Oh yeah,
in the 80s.
It's my favorite.
So
I think I've seen every arena rock band there was at the time.
Yeah. I never made it to a big one. I saw Van Halen in 1984 at the Cow Palace, and I guess you could say that was an arena. Yeah, I guess that's the definition of an arena. It was the Cow Palace. So yes, I saw Van Halen 84 in 1984 at the Cow Palace there in San Francisco. Man, that was incredible. That was the craziest thing. My parents were not. I was 16. My parents were like, I don't know about this. It was the 80s after all. They were probably right. I probably shouldn't have gone. But we had a good time. Had a good time.
I saw Van Halen Monsters of Rock in probably 88 in Maine. Mm-hmm. And it was Van Halen headlining with Scorpions, Metallica, Dokken, Kingdom Come. And my buddy's father worked for Van Halen, so we got backstage passes. And for two, fresh out of high school kids. Yeah. It was a night.
Living the dream. Joe also says, if we won't go back and do this, Joe, but we could work in self-congratulatory backslapping into the lyrics. That would be good. That's an old home server show joke from a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I almost put Uncle Marv and a few of the other names in there.
Yeah. Yeah, you could put your own. You could put your own name in there. You've been on here. You've been
I
on
don't
here
want to
quite a
lay
few
any
times.
claim to this whatsoever. Once you take it, I don't want any part of. Don't even say I wrote it.
No, I can't believe he's using.
My name's in there.
It is a great. This is we in the early days of podcasting. We had to tell people like you can't play AC/DC. Everybody wanted Back in Black, right, as their opening music, and you can't do that. But this would be a great way to. Now you can do it, and you don't have to worry about licensing. Like then, for a lot of years, we talked about licensing. Like, oh yeah, if you go on Spotify, you can use the music. Well, bypass all that, make your own.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but if you pay for this service, like if you don't use the free version, if you pay for it, even if you don't pay for the upgrade, as long as you're a paid member when you create the song, you own it. You're 100% writer of the song.
Okay. Not on the free version? The free version, they still own
No,
it?
not on the free version.
Okay.
But any paid version, you're 100% writer. And matter of fact, they just signed a deal with the record labels that the record labels gave them permission to model all of their existing catalog of music. So they can go back and just completely listen to it. Wow. Your new version's ready, but
okay, let's do
I
it.
highlighted this. There's my name, Rotating Crew.
Yeah. Oh, the rotating crew. I like that. The rotating. That's true, though. That's true. I have a rotating crew. Nicely done. Yeah, you are good.
All right.
You are good at this. All right, here we go. Here we go.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go live, with Jim at the helm taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go, if it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by your side, bringing all that heat, breaking down the tech talk in a language we speak. News, reviews, and updates rolling in. Every week another test drive begins for the tinkers, the testers, the curious minds. This is where the everyday tech guys shine.
The strings in the background.
Welcome to Home Gadget Geeks, where the screens go
This
red
drives.
and the Wi-Fi
This
beeps.
drives.
From the workshop bands to the SUV seat, it's the show you queue up when your week feels beat. Yeah, we talk gear, we talk life, we talk shortcuts that make things right for the average guy who loves to meet. Come hang out with Home Gadget Geeks.
Oh,
There it is.
did it say? What did it
Geeks.
say?
Home Gadget Geeks.
Geeks.
All right, here. I've got the other.
It
right
messed
here.
with the tempo on that one. Did you notice that? It messed with the
Yeah,
tempo
it's a little bit like
a little faster.
a little bit poppier.
Picked it up. Yeah. Yeah. All right. One more.
But we also changed the prompt too. We didn't have a prompt on the others.
No, right on. No, right on.
I wonder if that stayed the same.
Yeah, yeah. All right. One more. Not quite as violent. There you go. There's Europe right there.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go live, with Jim at the helm taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go, if it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by your side, bringing all that heat, breaking down the tech talk in a language we speak. News, reviews, and updates rolling in. Every week another test drive begins for the tinkers, the testers, the curious minds. This is where the
That one sounds too thin to me.
It was different. It was, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
But if it's saying the lyric you liked, then you just go ahead and take that lyric and fly it into
Play the
other
first
version.
one. Play the intro to the first one again. Up there. that's so crunchy compared to the first one. But I like the scream where the guy. See, I like the double bass, but I like the scream over the top of the double bass.
There's a buzz in the room when
That's good. Yeah. No, listen, there's a lot to like about that first intro that's in there, right? Here, let me turn this. How do I do this now? Here, we'll go back. No, I don't want to be in that. There we go. I'll do it that way. There's a lot to like about that one that you just played from a grinding perspective. And then there were some vocal components of the second one that I really like the scream part of it where he comes in, kind of thing. And so you could probably, if you don't do this, but you could probably dump those out, right? What'd you call that? The stems? Get the stems. Yeah. And then you could go in and mess around with those, right, in Pro Tools or whatever to make it whatever you want, right? Kind of deal. Even though I said don't produce it, you just did.
No, I'm doing a different version. I wrote vocal screams and grit to see if we can make the vocal sound different.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do what you were saying.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Okay, so as we've been going through this, right? I mean, this is the real temptation as an artist of when do you stop? Because we keep doing this, and you're like, oh, this is great. I like this. This is great, well, right?
This is what happens in the studio when you go in the studio with 8 musicians in a room, and you say, okay, go ahead and play my song. And they go out there and they play something, and you're like, that was awesome. And then all of a sudden the guitar player goes, well, what if I did this instead? And then they start playing, and then somebody else goes, I could do this. And next thing you know, you're doing 500 of these different versions. And the original one may still be the best, but now you get 500 to choose from. And you're wasting all that time and money as well.
Well, sure, that's the hard part, right? It's not just for fun. You're paying these or whatever, right? It's time. It's either studio time or you're paying the house musicians to be there or some of those kind of things.
Yep.
The other interesting point, back when I used to do a lot of music, and I had really young musicians. In most cases, I almost always had to work with high school or college students for this. Every once in a while, I'd get a pro musician, and they'd get this right off the bat. But young musicians want to play every note, like on their guitar or on the piano or in the drums. They literally want to play every note. And I had to teach them. I kept saying, it's not the notes you play, it's the ones you leave out that are important, right, in this. And so, AI kind of keeps you from doing that. But you could over-engineer these to get too much in it, where music actually needs space. It doesn't need every second filled to be filled, right? And sometimes the best is when it's the quietest, or when the music is absent, when the notes aren't played.
I like a lot of breaks and things in songs, and a lot of breaks, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of like hits. I like a lot of the quirkier stuff.
Yeah.
You got one version done.
Yeah. Okay, play it. These will be the last two we'll do, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
There would be some room for some Screamo right here if you were going to do Screamo.
Jim at the helm, taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go. If it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by your side, bringing all that heat.
I like it so far.
The lyrics are clear on this, right? They're very clear. The last couple, they've been a little muddy.
See if it pronounces geeks right.
This is where the everyday tech guy shines.
got it.
There's plenty more of them.
The gang vocals on that are awesome.
Got it.
That's good.
That's
The
probably
gang
thumbing that
vocals
one.
on that one are good.
I'm thumbing that up.
That's the best one.
Now,
so far.
normally what I would do is listen to the whole thing and see if for nothing to jump out at me incorrectly. So I'm not necessarily listening for what I like first. I'm listening for what I don't like first.
Yeah.
And so far on that one, I didn't really hear anything. But let's try this one.
Okay.
Very Dawkins-like.
They changed keys on that?
What's that?
Did they change keys on this? Did it go up?
Sounds up. Sounds
Okay.
higher.
Okay, keep going.
There's a buzz in the room when the mics go live, with Jim at the helm taking us for a ride. From the smart home lights to the gear on the go, if it plugs in or powers up, it's part of the show. Rotating crew by your side, bringing all that heat, breaking down the tech talk in a language we speak. News, reviews, and updates rolling in. Every week another test drive begins for the tinkers, the testers, the curious minds. This is where the everyday tech guy shines. Welcome to Home Gadget Geeks, where the screens glow bright.
See, that one messed it up.
That's Europe. That's the closest one to Europe that we've heard, right? That would be the glam kind of.
That's up there. I like
You
this
almost want
one.
to go the final countdown.
See, now, after the show, now I'm going to listen to the rest of that and see what it sounds like.
Yeah, there's one more lyric in there I'd change, and
Which
I'd have to
Which
look at
one?
it. No, it's like in the second. I think it's in the second verse. I'd have to look
Second
at it
verse.
a little more. I can't see. It's too small for me to see here. So we'll do it. We'll tell you what. In the post show, we'll go. We'll do it in the post show.
All right.
We have gone long enough.
We've
Jay.
killed it. Sorry.
No, it's good. Listen, I hope if you've listened this far, I'm glad that you have, and thanks for doing that. Thanks for putting up with. This is not the typical Home Gadget Geeks podcast, but it's been enjoyable for me, and I'm glad that you have. I'm trying to get this off the screen, so it's just you and me. There we go. I appreciate if you made it this far in the podcast. Thanks for staying all the way through it. I mean, it's just been kind of fun to do it. It does from a podcasting standpoint. Like all of a sudden, it gives me some like here in an hour. We have now. You did a bunch of work to get this song ready for this moment. Everything else was we were copying the song, so
Right.
it's not like we did it in an hour. Right? There's some more work associated with it beforehand, but this was super fun. Jay, did you have fun doing this?
Oh, this
fun?
was a blast.
This is great.
And I actually like the way the song turned out, and being a 80s guy, I like these versions of it too. So
Yeah. No, there's a lot of I just for podcasters, I just kind of think this actually gives us some freedom in creating some things to use on your show that you customize and work with. I would spend 4 hours with you in an afternoon tweaking this thing to get it
perfect.
just right, where it's a legit, and then I'd pull the riff out for the beginning so that in the beginning of the show it would be there, and then at the end of the show, not everybody makes it to the end of the show. If you're still here and listening to this, you've made it to the end of the show. But I bring in, I have a real slow riff that I bring in. We could make a version of this where it's playing, like this would be playing quietly underneath the music bed, and then it fades out to the full thing at the end of the show and then quiets down. And then have a full version of it. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty
a lot of cool things to do.
Yeah. No.
See, to
Jay,
me,
thanks.
it's the lyrics. I spend the majority of the time writing the lyrics, and then the rest of it is just tweaking, coloring. It's like, the lyrics to me are the black lines on a coloring book, and
Yeah.
what we do
Yeah.
after that is just whatever we choose to do.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you sit here and, say, oh, can we change this word to this or just this one to that? Because to me, I never take offense to those things because that's how you make it perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in the changes we made just in that first verse sounded good. Like it was like, oh yeah, take that out. That doesn't sound right. It would be appropriate, but it didn't sound right in the
Right.
song. And then changing things around so the AI picks it up and gets it a little bit better. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
No, it's awesome. And one thing we didn't talk about that we should mention real quick is that you could take a commercial song, like you mentioned Bon Jovi or Europe or any of those. You could take those songs, import them into the multi-track version of this, and it will cover that song. So then you can now sing it. So if you want to sing the song, you can break it into stems if you wanted to, or you could just upload the song just like we did your original version. And remember, this started with that little computerized type pop song,
Right.
and it's turned into an 80s hair metal song. It's no longer the same song.
It's totally different. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you could do that. You could upload Europe or Bon Jovi or in here
right.
and just say cover it, and it'll create an entirely new version of it. And I don't know if you notice this online at all. You'll see people who are doing things like, sing Bon Jovi in the style of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're taking the song up in here and they're giving it a new prompt, and they create a cover of Bon Jovi sounding like Taylor Swift, and then they sing to it.
Yeah. When you
So-
say they sing to it, it's like karaoke style.
Yeah.
So in other words, just cover the instrumental part, strip the vocals out, and then you can use it as karaoke. Yeah, this kind of breaks the whole karaoke model. Right?
You could do whatever you want now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sounds better than karaoke.
Yeah.
Karaoke was like C or D level musicians in a studio recording a Bon
It was
Jovi song or
expensive.
something.
It was expensive to do. Like, you know, anytime you get a human involved on that gets super expensive for what, But in this scenario, I mean, there'd even be, you're at a karaoke bar and you're like, you go to the karaoke today or lately and you say, I want this song, and whatever they got, they're playing. But you could cue it up where you say, I want the final countdown as if it was played by ELO.
And boom. Even if you could say, hey, I want to sing the final countdown, they say, well, I don't have it.
Yeah.
And you could say, okay, well, here it is. And I that's the original. That's not the karaoke. Well, okay, here, put it in here and strip the vocal out. And now you have the final countdown.
Yeah, what processes in 30 seconds? So
Right.
a minute, whatever.
While this person's singing that song, I can go ahead and do it over here.
Yeah. Well, super cool.
Which is insane.
It is crazy. Jay, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Super fun. Thanks for making the song, the new theme song. We'll you and I will work on whatever final version that we use for that. Thanks for your creativity in coming. I never would have done that, and so thank you for using your creativity to do that. I appreciate it. Well, it will be coming to a podcast near you here at some point as we work on tweaking it. I'm gonna put it in. It's gonna be
30 more seconds. It'll be
Here's gonna be the problem, Jay, is that I'm gonna ask some folks like, why did you replace? I've done it for 666 episodes, and this one I'll still, because we won't have time to mess with it, I probably will still do the original. So if you're listening to this in podcast form, probably still has the original, but starting with 667, we'll most likely change that. Is it 10 o'clock? Yeah, I just heard my garage door shut. I had left it open a crack. Because we had some flooding in the basement this morning. We've been drying some stuff out, and I left the garage door open. I just heard it shut. That's kind of nice. Home automation, that's best. But yeah, you get it. It's an amazing tool. So Jay, thanks for your creativity on this. I appreciate it. Couple reminders on the way out. We won't do much of a post show because Jay and I have gone on. Maybe this is going to be the longest podcast I've done in a while, and that's awesome, by the way. So theaverageguy.tv, both web and media hosting powered by Maple Grove Partners. Get secure, reliable, high-speed hosting from people that you know and you trust. And that's Christian, and we'll get him back on the podcast. I missed him 2 weeks ago when I got sick, but he'll be back in here. Check it out today, maplegrovepartners.com, and he can customize just about anything for you. We are live every Thursday, although I'm taking a long break. It's Christmas, so I'm taking I probably won't be back till mid-January, so just hang tight. I need some time off, and Jay and I got to work on some music, so we'll be working on that in the break. Maybe we come back after the break with some new theme music for the podcast. We're taking a long break. We'll be back mid-January. For those of you in the Discord group, I'll be posting when we are officially back. I don't know if Christian's coming back on the 15th or the 20th, so we're just trying to figure that out right now. But join in the Discord group, theaverageguy.tv/Discord, if you want to join us there. And again, big thanks to our Patreon subscribers. And big thanks to you, Bob Carpenter, who just joined that team. And if you want to do that as well, theaverageguy.tv/Patreon. We'll see you in, 4, 5, 6 weeks, whenever I get back to it. Thanks for those of you who joined us live. Thanks for coming out. With that, I'll say goodbye.
Geeks, where the screens glow bright and the Wi-Fi peaks. If you're looking for the tech talk you can actually keep, then settle on in with Home Gadget Geeks.